Yeah, so another installment of my fucked up life and what's happening with me. So yeah, last night we had a birthday party for my nephew, and it was going great. You know, it's my sister-in-law's son, and my brother-in-law's there, so it's my wife's family. And we were doing fine. I mean, we were like, she was laughing at my jokes, and we were being pleasant and polite. But you know, at the end of the night, I just wanted to leave. And usually we stay like every other year, but now we're not together anymore. So I was like, okay, it'd be weird just me and her sister and her husband, like we used to be, since we're no longer really a couple. And I thought she was aware of this, you know. So when I was ready to go, I just picked up my keys, and she's like, "Oh, we got to go." And I said, "Yeah, let's go." So I thought she was gonna stay, which I probably should have done. I should have said, "Hey, do you want to stay?" And I'll go. But she came with me in my car, and the girls ended up going with Nana. And we came back and didn't talk at all in the car. And then I said, "Hey, I'm gonna go out and have a beer with a friend," and she flipped, like that. Made her lose her mind. Like, "Oh, you could have told me. You could have said something." I said, "Well, what do you think we were going to come back and do? You want to hang out with me? We're not even going to do anything together." So just the fact that I wanted to go do something somehow made her so angry and so upset. So I don't know. It was a big fight. She kicked me out of the house. I had to go spend the night with my brothers, sleep on the couch. Now things have gotten even more tense. So it's going to be even harder for me to get a job. She's not going to help anymore. She's like, "I'm on my own. I have to buy my own stuff." So yeah, it's gotten so contentious. She absolutely hates me. She thinks like I'm in this horrible person that never loved her, never considered her, was taking her for granted, was using her the whole time. I'm like, it's totally not the case. So I don't know. I'm trying to stay positive. What was funny is that, Friday and Saturday was actually becoming more positive for me. I was actually beginning to accept this is my new life. I'm losing it. I'm losing this house. I'm going to have to move somewhere, you know, and rebuild myself, find a job and start all over, you know, and, I have to heal. I'm not looking to jump into another relationship, but she's always like, you'll never find someone like me, and good luck, and you need a lot of help, and somehow like I have all these issues. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not trying to be malicious. I was more hurt because of the affair than anything. It stung. The discard is hard, but now I'm used to it. Now I'm like, I realize I'm actually agreeing with her. This wasn't a great relationship. When you get the discard, you feel like you got to fix it. You got to go back to what your body wanted. Back to the dopamine, the oxytocin, what you felt, because it felt comfortable, right? But that's all we were. We were comfortable, but I don't think we were really happy. And it took going through this to realize she wasn't happy, really wasn't happy, and I wasn't happy either. I wasn't being my true self. I wasn't bringing up conversations and hard things that we should have been talking about, but I wasn't, because I was comfortable. I was afraid. It all comes from my side. It all comes from fear, not being malicious. I'm not out to some evil genius narcissist that's looking to get his way. No, I was always focused on getting us to the next level, getting a better job, maybe starting something, investing, and then retiring together. I even had plans that we were going to travel, but now it's too late. But she sees it as I never considered her, and I was just thinking about myself, which I don't know how that's possible. But I think at this point we just need to be apart, and need to calm down. She needs to be away, and then maybe in 3 years we could be in the same room together. But I'm in the bind because I can't move anywhere. My brother has a small apartment or a condo, and he has a baby, so that I can't live there. I can maybe crash there temporarily. Mom lives in a loft, not a loft, a studio apartment. So it's just one room, and she's kind of a hoarder. So I can't even stay there, you know? So kind of in a bind, but I'm not feeling anxious for some reason. I'm not feeling like the sky's falling. I'm not feeling, I'm like taking it in stride now. I think all the Stoicism I'm reading, the Seneca, the Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, is actually helping me to see things in a different light. Like if Seneca, who was a slave, can overcome being a slave, he didn't even have rights over his own body, then I can recover from this. I still have my kids, but even if I lose my kids, I was thinking about that, even if she takes the kids away from me, I can recover. If I end up in a room by myself and I don't get to see the kids, at least I still have my mind, right? She can't take that away from me. She can't take away who I am as a person, right? And I can rebuild. I will not give up. That's what I've made the resolution to myself. Even if it comes to that, I can rebuild. I'm not a drinker, so I'm not going to sit around drinking, and I don't do drugs. You know what I mean? So I will find a way. It might take a while, but I will find a way. And I think that's the lesson I'm taking here is this is the universe or God or somebody shouting at me, telling me to change something. That I've been living a comfortable life. I've been procrastinating for too long. I haven't been pushing myself like I did earlier in my life. I need to step up more to become a better person and a better father, and then maybe in the future a better partner. Now, right now, I'm not even looking for that. I just want to make sure I'm stable and I can provide for my kids. That's it. So I know this is a long rant, but I had to get it out.